Doctor Who is back, and finally they seem to have fixed the pacing problem in it. About bloody time. What took you so, old man? Says the Game of Thrones girl, who everyone thinks is Susan, because of course they do. Every bloody time a young girl appears in a Doctor Who trailer, people think that. Remember last time? As I'm psychic, I promise it's not her. Chapter 1. The Plot. So the two-parter begins with a bit of a prologue of the Doctor in the Middle Ages and Khan being all cryptic and stuff, and immediately you have to wonder, are there still people out there who think that being cryptic equals being mysterious? But besides that, I did enjoy the prologue quite a bit. Not only does it transition into the episode perfectly, but it also provides a little bit of a character development to this guy, whoever he is. So then we get the whole Doctor might be dying, but we all know he's not, because BBC won't allow it thing that we've seen a billion times before. And we flash forward to the scene where the Doctor meets Baby Davros, which, mind you, was a joke that 5 Who fans came up with. First the title sequence, now this, priceless. But it would be in a good way if the actor they got to play Baby Davros was any good, but since he isn't, meh. For once in a lifetime, I was happy that a character didn't get more screen time. Then we get to the scene where the snake guy goes around looking for the Doctor, and I'm kinda split on this one. On one hand, it's amazing to see a lot of new locations and just how big the world of Doctor Who is, and it has quite a lot of good fan service. No, not that guy. Oh, never mind. But on the other hand, I don't really like this because all the snake guy is doing is... Where is the Doctor? I'm not telling you. Where is the Doctor? I'm not telling you. Where is the Doctor? I'm not telling you. Where is the... Where is the Doctor? Go stalk Clara. Well, thank you, Jesus! I mean, these scenes individually are amazing, but put together they're just so repetitive. What a waste! You could have used that time to develop this guy's character some more. Whoever he is. So then Clara gets a call from UNIT because she's a super spy in this episode, while in the next one she's apparently Missy's pet, and that's sort of my problem with Clara. She's very, very inconsistent. She very often comes close to breaking the suspension of disbelief because of just how inconsistent she is throughout the series, and it's not Jenna's fault. But how can I take her seriously when in one episode she's completely illiterate, in another she's a Powerpuff Girl, immediately followed by, well, this.
It's not an attack. It's not an invasion because, well, that doesn't come with a fair warning. So, somebody needs our attention. Somebody who needs to put a gun to our heads to make us listen. Oh.
Look at this. She's teaching the Brigadier's daughter common sense. What?
A mutant in a tank that would never ever stop. And they never did.
The Daleks.
Don't you already know this? So then Missy shows up doing the whole "Hey Missy" thing again. Yeah, I got it. Why does the scene have to go on for 40 more seconds? I got it in 5. Also, I just have to comment on this. Why do computers in TV series and films look so impractical? I mean, look at this. How do you operate this in an easy to understand manner? At least I didn't bloody type really fast using random keys. Yeah, the nerd in me is going irate. Pretty soon I'll start ripping off other people on YouTube. So then Missy meets up with Clara and finds a Doctor in the Middle Ages, and that is bodacious! Does anybody still say bodacious? Where is the Doctor? Oh, there he is. And it turns out that this dude was one of those Dalek human slaves introduced by the Asylum probably because of the snake bite, whoever it is. After that we get the scene where they find out that they're on Skaro, and although this is so obviously chroma keyed, I like it because it reminds me of 60s sci-fi a lot, like Star Trek and Doctor Who. Okay, I'm a person who really likes weird and unusual things. This is one of the reasons why I like anime so much. TV and film, in my opinion, has two main purposes for existing. Telling a story in a meaningful or visually interesting way, or providing escapism. And this kind of stuff does both at the same time. I only wish it was longer. So then we come to the end of part 1. Clara and Missy are captured by the classic Dalek and brought to the Red Dalek instead of getting immediately exterminated, and we get the lamest cliffhanger ever. We know Daleks don't disintegrate people, and we know that this is a teleportation effect. Then the Doctor goes to Baby Davros and says, "Exterminate!" Wait, hold on a second, my psychic powers are kicking in. Okay, Clara and Missy teleported out just before they were hit by the laser, and the Doctor will not exterminate Baby Davros, but instead the zombies. Right? Am I right? Of course I'm right. Somebody give me a bloody medal, or at least a job at one of those newspapers that grandmas read a lot with the horoscopes and stuff. Yeah, well, the second part of the story is pretty much all character and not so much plot, so I think we can largely skip this one and go straight to Chapter 2, The Characters. The Doctor, as always, is a complete joy to watch, from the tubular entrance on the tank to him stealing the chair, but he also shows a bit of regret and a softer side. The only problem was that he didn't really seem to learn anything by the end. The hybrid Daleks better show up again, especially considering that there were a lot of elevating Daleks shown in the episode, and this episode would have been a complete waste of time otherwise. Clara, she's there, or inconsistent as always. Look, she's now an obedient slave to Missy. What happened to the whole Clara is equal to the Doctor thing? I know the Master is supposed to be slightly superior than the Doctor, but she doesn't know that. She was shown to be a super spy in part 1, and in part 2 she's a bumbling and an obedient moron who doesn't know one thing about the Daleks, even though she has lived 1,000 lives protecting the Doctor and definitely has run into the Daleks a few times. At this point I think they have run out of things for the companion to do. Let's see, let's put her in the Dalek and do nothing with it. I wish they had let her stay there. That would have at least be somewhat interesting if it had turned out that Clara from the Asylum of the Daleks was the same Clara from this episode. In fact, you know what? Maybe we could have revealed that Clara from the Name of the Doctor ending has died a long time ago, and Clara in season 8 were all clones, just like the one in The Snowman. That would have explained the character inconsistencies, and Moffat could go, "Yeah, I meant to do that. You thought that it was a plot hole? Nah, I was planning for that, man." Missy, I love her for the most part, especially how she abuses Clara.
We could chuck a stone down or something.
Oh yeah, good idea. 20 feet.
Every bit of misery she puts on Clara made me smile. The only problem is, what's her motive? What's the point of her being in this episode? I find it really hard to believe that she legitimately cares about the Doctor. Snake Guy.
Where is the...
Ah, fuck off. Davros pretty much stole the whole show. The part where he Darth Vader's the Doctor was a bit cheesy, but every bit of dialogue, every bit of acting was subtle, made sense, and was believable. And the scene where the Doctor's hand starts to glow and you realize exactly what's going on and what the plot twist is just priceless. And the moment of the week, definitely for this episode. Chapter 3. Some more things to say. The visuals are good, not great, but good for the most part. The sets do look amazing, and I love how much they resemble the original series. The music is alright. This classic and special weapons dialogue returning, fine, whatever. It's not like we needed them to return, but it didn't take me out of the episode. It seems like moment was put there just to put something shiny to distract the fanboys, just like this scene, instead of having something of substance. And speaking of fanboys, everyone seems to hate the sunglasses, and it's like, oh, shut up. Sure, they're lame, and a bit of a downgrade from the screwdriver, but I can definitely see how they would be useful. The Doctor could use them to scan the area, have a direct access to the TARDIS onboard computer, makes holograms, sure, I guess. I think the problem was that it was introduced as a replacement for the screwdriver instead of a new gadget. But if that's the biggest problem you have with Doctor Who, you are an incredibly shallow person. The episode sure does have problems. The characters don't seem to learn anything, the ending doesn't make any sense, the Daleks do have the concept of mercy, and for God's sake, why don't they just elevate? The confession dial. Jesus Christ, this thing doesn't make any sense. First off, why does the Doctor say in the prologue that he's about to die in the battlefield? You mean Trenzalore? Why the bloody hell does the Doctor think that Davros is going to take him to Trenzalore? In fact, Trenzalore was never even mentioned in this episode, but that is the only semi-reasonable explanation I can come up with. Second, the dial is going to be opened when the Doctor dies? Did Moffat just forget what the show is about? As in Time Traveler? What do you mean when he dies? Oh my god, this doesn't make any sense. Do you mean when the Doctor's body appears? Well, just go to Trenzalore, easy. You mean when he no longer exists? Well, he has been to the end of the universe on multiple occasions, so good luck. Do you mean when he dies relative to your own age? Well, same solution as the Trenzalore thing, just meet up with yourself in an old age. Even forgetting the Doctor Who canon, even if this is the first time you've ever seen Doctor Who, this doesn't make any sense. He's a time traveler. What death are you talking about? But even with these flaws, I like this episode. It was fun, at a nice pace, and something to put on when I'm bored. Unlike next week's episode.
Doctor, you don't have your screwdriver.
Oh yeah, I'm over screwdrivers. They spoil the line of your jacket.
I understood that reference.